Hello everyone, this is Glenda and welcome back to Creative Grandma's Kitchen. I want to welcome you into my home and into my kitchen, and today I have a wonderful recipe that I got from my daughter-in-law Bambi. When I was visiting my son, she made this soup and I have to tell you it's one of the best tasting soups that I have had in a long time. Now if you like tacos, you're gonna love this soup. It's called taco soup. It's very simple to make, so let me show you everything you need to make this soup. We're going to start with our ground beef. Now I'm going to use almost 1.5 pounds, so anywhere between 1 and 1/2 pounds of ground beef. You're going to need 1 onion. You're going to need 2 cans of pinto beans, and these are the 19.75 ounce or 1 pound 3.7 ounce cans, so 2 cans of that. You're going to need 1 can of sweet corn, that's a 15.25 ounce can. 1 can of Rotel. Now you can use the regular Rotel, the mild, or the spicy. It just depends on how spicy and hot you want this soup, and this is a 10 ounce can. 1 can of stewed tomatoes, and this is a 14.5 ounce can. 3 cups of water. You're going to need 1 pack of taco seasoning mix. That's the dry seasoning mix, and this is 1.25 ounce packet. 1 packet of ranch seasoning salad dressing mix. Now it's very important that you get the salad dressing mix and not the dip mix. There's 2 different ones, so make sure you're getting the salad dressing mix, and this is a 1 ounce envelope of the seasoning. 1 8-ounce bag of sharp cheddar cheese or pepper jack cheese or whatever cheese you want to top your soup when you lift it up, and that's optional. So I'm just going to place my pan on the stove, and I accidentally bought 90% ground beef, so I'm just going to add just a touch of vegetable oil just so it doesn't stick to my pan. So I'm just going to put that in my pan. Just spread that around a little bit, and then I'm going to chop my onion and throw my onion in there with my hamburger. Now I don't like that little hard part there, so I always take that right out of my onion. I don't like putting that in my food. And then you're just going to chop your onion. And you can chop small pieces, you can chop big pieces. It's all how you like to prepare your food. I'm just going to stir that up a little bit. And while my hamburger is cooking, I'm going to start putting all the canned stuff in my soup pot. So when my hamburger's done, all we got to do is drain the hamburger and dump it in our pot. So first, I'm just going to dump my pinto beans in the pot. Now I did not drain this. I want the flavoring of that juice in that can, so I'm just going to dump them right in my pot. I'm going to add my can of corn. And now I have my stewed tomatoes, and I'm just going to drain the juice into my pan. And I really don't want those big chunks, so I'm going to go ahead and chop them a little bit. Now my daughter-in-law puts hers in the blender, and I burn up the motor in my blender, so I'm just going to chop them up real quick. Make them smaller pieces. And then I'm going to add that to my soup pot. So that is all I'm going to add right at this moment. I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to save my can of Rotel. So when my hamburger and onions is done, I'm going to mix this in so it helps mix the taco seasoning and ranch dressing. So that we save until our hamburger is done. So now I drained most of the grease off my hamburger. It's still cooking, and I'm going to dump my dry taco seasoning mix right in with my hamburger. And you're just going to stir that up and get it all blended. Then I'm going to add my Rotel, my tomatoes here. Give it a little more juice to absorb that flavor. Now the thing about Bambi's recipe is with the taco seasoning, it's ordinary. But by adding the ranch seasoning, it takes this to an extraordinary taste sensation. So add that ranch dressing and it takes it from ordinary to extraordinary. So I'm going to mix that all together. So that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to slide my pan over, put my soup pot on, add my meat to my soup pot. So now, since we have all that joined and stirred together, you're going to add your 3 cups of water. So now, since everything is blended together, boy, I can smell that taco seasoning. I'm going to let this simmer for about 30 minutes so it absorbs all those flavors of the taco seasoning and the ranch dressing seasoning. And then I'll be back in 30 minutes and I'll give this soup a taste test. So my soup has been cooking over a half hour, and you can see how it blended all those spices and just the juice mingling, giving it all that delicious flavor. Now when this soup is done, you can serve this 3 different ways. You can take this soup and drain the juice, and you can put this mixture on top of tortilla chips, add lettuce and cheese and anything you want. Some sour cream just makes a great appetizer. And you can also use it as a party dip. Just drain the juice off, put it in a bowl, add cheese on top, and serve with tortilla chips. So now I'm just going to eat it as soup. I'm going to dish it up. It smells so wonderful, and again, if you love tacos, you're gonna love this soup. And once I get this lifted up, you know where it's going. Creative Grandma's gonna have a nice lunch. I'm going to throw some of that cheese on top and let that melt in my soup. It's so delicious. And in the summer, it's nice to have a pot of soup, have a nice light lunch with a cup of soup and a salad. Thank you everybody for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed this so easy to make recipe for the taco soup, and I'd love to hear your comments. If you try it, if you like it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. See you next time in the kitchen.